Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Pretorius, and today I want to explore a pervasive issue that has plagued societies throughout history: the us and them mentality. This has also been referred to as the us versus them effect, which is defined as the tendency of individuals to view the social world in terms of an in-group, us, and an out-group, them. And this effect causes people to prefer to associate with those who are similar over those who are different. It causes us to rather allocate resources to similar others and hold positive beliefs about similar others. This is a mentality that is deeply ingrained in human nature and has evolutionary roots. Early humans formed groups for survival, and this instinct to identify with our own tribe remains within us. The us and them mentality is not confined to any particular region or culture. It is a shared human experience. And throughout history, communities worldwide have grappled with the instinct to identify with their own and perceive others as different or even threatening. Understanding this shared struggle is the first step toward dismantling the barriers that separate us. My own awareness of this disconnect became all too clear through one experience I had when living in Cape Town. In this city of tremendous beauty, I remember one particular man that lived next to the flat block where I lived with my sister, and he was homeless. And most of the times I saw him, he was drunk or high or both. And he lived under a tree next to the road. I remember one particular day when I was walking by him and I saw him quietly sitting under the tree in the shade, and he was reading a very thick book. And upon closer look, I saw that he was reading Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. And I remember thinking, what happened to you in your life? How has it come to this? But still, to this day, I don't know his name. So what is it that stopped me from connecting with him? Was it that he was not part of my tribe? Or that he could be perceived as a stereotype that was too different from myself for me to connect with in that moment? Yet he stays with me, even after 14 years. So this got me thinking about this divisive mentality that is so ingrained in us as a human race. It has manifested in various forms, hindering progress, compassion, unity. It has gotten me thinking how it is fueled in the world that we currently live. And then it also got me thinking, how can this be overcome? In today's interconnected world, this us and them mentality has been amplified by algorithms. Algorithms that are designed to capture and hold our attention. Whether it's news articles, social media posts, or online discussions, algorithms are programmed to prioritize content that aligns with our existing beliefs. Algorithms analyze our online behavior, our preferences, our interactions to predict what content will keep us engaged. So we are constantly bombarded with content that reinforces and fuels our own viewpoint and our own opinion. And we become trapped in a bubble or an echo chamber of information. It reinforces our worldview, and it isolates us from differing perspectives. And while the intention might be to enhance a user's experience, the unintended consequence is the reinforcement of biases. And as a result, we find ourselves surrounded by like-minded individuals, reinforcing our existing beliefs and further alienating those with different perspectives. This then deepens the divisions between different groups in society, simply because we are often only exposed to one side of the story. We are kept in the dark about the other side. And the consequence of this is an even greater disconnect from each other. And this is through a polarization of views, opinions, of perspectives, which can then take on harmful forms. And it stunts open and meaningful conversations and dialogue. It fuels stereotypes. It fuels prejudices and discrimination. So what is the solution? How do we overcome this? How do we make sure to see the other side of the story? And while it's easy to blame online platforms and media outlets for trapping us in these bubbles of information, and while it's right to demand transparency of algorithmic process and online platforms, it's equally within our responsibility to take this on as individuals. Because taking on the big guy is not the only way. We as individuals within a society can make this change a reality. So it's now that I urge you to think critically, to encourage open and meaningful dialogue and conversation, and actively pursue an attitude of empathy. Don't just believe everything you read. Don't make snap judgments driven by a headline that pops up on your newsfeed. Dig deeper. Make sure you're exploring various sides of the argument. Before you form your own viewpoint, approach it with an attitude of questioning and of consideration. Be critical of the information in your bubble and step outside of it to see what else is out there. And this will help you to create a well-informed and critically thought-through view. It will also allow you to empathetically see through another's eyes. Empathy knows no borders. It is the bridge that connects us to them. And by placing yourself in another's shoes, and do start with just one other, you may better understand another's experiences, their struggles, and their aspirations. And better still, you may just see you have more in common with that other than you may first have believed you could. Empathy is the key to breaking down the artificial barriers that separate us from them. And understanding the diverse challenges faced by another fosters a sense of shared humanity, which then brings me to dialogue. Meaningful dialogue between communities is essential for dispelling misconceptions and building bridges. But this starts with one individual connecting and speaking to one other individual. Make those connections. Engage in open and respectful conversation in which the cornerstone is listening. Consider another. In doing this, we can find common ground and work towards shared goals, reinforcing the idea that there is no us and them, only a we. So in conclusion, the us and them mentality is a formidable challenge. It requires collective effort to overcome. However, this collective effort starts with individual investment. Acknowledge the historical roots of this mindset. Understand the consequences. And then actively work towards dismantling these barriers through critical thought, through dialogue and through empathy. If each of us connects with one other, we may just succeed in this quest to blossom into a harmonious and inclusive society. Let us strive for a future where the us and them becomes an outdated concept, replaced by a resounding we that celebrates our shared humanity. Thank you.